Welcome back, wrestling WWE fans. To everyone who has been following the absolutely chaotic and emotionally charged events surrounding the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, we need to have a serious conversation. The world of WWE is often a spectacle, but sometimes, the lines between storyline and shocking reality become so blurred, it leaves everyone questioning everything they just witnessed. The atmosphere backstage on a recent episode of SmackDown was not one of excitement, but of palpable tension and simmering anger. You could feel it in the air, a low hum of anxiety that had replaced the usual pre-show buzz. This wasn't about upcoming matches, this was about the aftermath of an unforgivable act, a brutal and unprovoked attack that left the entire WWE roster reeling. The target was Roman Reigns. The perpetrator was Bronson Reed. But the attack itself was more than just a heel maneuver, it was vicious, it was personal, and it crossed every single line of respect and safety. It wasn't about competition, it was about attempted annihilation, leaving Reigns legitimately hurt and the WWE Universe in a state of stunned disbelief. Please like, share and subscribe for more WWE content. Alright, we're halfway through, and things are about to take a serious turn. If you thought you knew where this was going, think again, this is where the real drama unfolds. Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come. In the wake of this, the man tasked with maintaining order, WWE official Adam Pearce, was facing a firestorm. Behind the scenes, he was reportedly under immense pressure from higher-ups, from the medical team, and from a locker room that was on the verge of mutiny. This was a full-blown scandal, a breach of trust that threatened the very integrity of the company's duty of care to its performers. Pearce, a former wrestler himself, knows the unspoken code of the locker room. You compete, you fight, you even hate each other, but you protect each other. You never jeopardize a fellow performer's health and livelihood. Reed's actions were seen as the ultimate betrayal of that code, a selfish act that put a main event star and the company's biggest draw on the shelf. The real-life health crisis for Roman Reigns became the central focus. This wasn't a storyline injury. This was a legitimate concern. The whispers about his past battles, the fragility of a superstar's body, all came rushing back. The fear was real. The grief among his bloodline family, especially the Usos, was not for the cameras. It was a raw, human reaction to seeing their cousin and leader in a vulnerable and dangerous state. This incident exposed the raw, real backstage dynamics in a way few things do. The locker room was divided. Some veterans were furious, demanding Reed be made an example of. Others were nervous, worried about the precedent it set for their own safety every time they stepped through the curtain. The trust between management and talent was frayed, with many questioning if enough was being done to protect them. Then, Adam Pearce made his return to television. But this was not the suit and tie bureaucrat we're used to. This was a different man. His face was a mask of cold, controlled fury. His usual corporate cadence was gone, replaced by a low, steely tone that commanded absolute silence. He called Bronson Reed to the ring. What happened next was not in any script. As Reed stood there, a smug look on his face, perhaps expecting a fine or a suspension, Pearce did the unthinkable. He dropped the microphone. He took off his jacket. And with a speed that belied his years away from active competition, he unleashed a vicious, open-handed slap across Reed's face. The sound echoed throughout the arena. The shock was absolute. The audience fell silent. The commentators were speechless. Backstage, producers scrambled. This was a shoot. This was real. In that one moment, Adam Pearce wasn't a WWE official. He was a man representing every single person in the back who felt betrayed and endangered. It was an act of raw, human emotion, a complete breakdown of corporate protocol. For Pearce, this was a career-defining moment, and potentially a career-ending one. He had crossed a line from which there was no return. But in his eyes, you could see he believed it was a line that needed to be crossed. It was a statement. Your actions have consequences, and this business will protect its own, by any means necessary. The fallout was immediate. Reed was left humiliated, his arrogant facade shattered by the sting of real-world consequences. The locker room watched on monitors, some in stunned silence, others with nods of grim approval. The message was received, loud and clear. This incident forces us to remember the people behind the personas. Adam Pearce, the man, reached his breaking point in defense of a colleague. Bronson Reed, the man, had to face the real-world anger his character's actions inspired. Roman Reigns, the man, was facing a real recovery from a real injury. In the end, beyond the slap and the shock, this is a story about loyalty. It's about the deep, unspoken bond that exists in that locker room, a bond that says we will fight each other, but we will always protect this business and the people in it. Adam Pearce, in that one stunning moment, embodied that loyalty. His actions remind us that WWE is more than just scripted entertainment, it's a community. It's a family that argues and fights, but when one of its own is disrespected and endangered, it will close ranks. It's a brutal, beautiful, and often heartbreaking display of human connection. The legacy of this moment won't be about a championship or a main event. It will be about the time a company man threw away the rulebook and became a man first. It's a legacy of love for the industry and fierce, uncompromising loyalty to the people who make it what it is.